An insider at the Humanitarian Awards just dropped a bombshell nobody saw coming. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's request for a private jet was flat out denied. No debate, no exceptions, just one word no. But what happened next inside their Manhattan hotel suite left even their own team stunned. For the first time in years, the so-called royal rebels were told they weren't special, and it did not go over well. This was supposed to be Meghan's big comeback night, a carefully staged return to the spotlight. The Park Hyatt suite buzzed with stylists, PR agents, and photographers practicing smiles that didn't reach their eyes. Every corner of the room hummed with rehearsed energy. Meghan stood in front of the mirror adjusting her gown for the 5th time, whispering about lighting, camera angles and whether the flash would hit her best side. Harry paced by the window staring at the glittering skyline as if it had personally betrayed him. The tension was thick, one side of the room obsessed with optics, the other simmering with quiet anger. Then the call came. A nervous assistant handed Meghan the phone. Her face changed instantly. The organisers had refused their private jet request. No explanation, no compromise. Be honest for a second. If you were running the event, would you have approved that jet? Or made the same call? Drop your thoughts below. Meghan froze. The practice smile slipped. Harry's jaw tightened, fist clenched. For him, it wasn't just logistics, it was humiliation. For her, it was unthinkable. After all, what's a duchess without her grand entrance inside that suite? The illusion cracked. The charity gala they had planned to treat like a victory lap suddenly became a quiet reminder the world doesn't bow anymore. And that was only the beginning. Officially, they were attending the Humanitarian Awards to honour their global charitable work. The invitation alone was supposed to silence critics. Proof they were still relevant, still celebrated, still the couple the world once adored. But inside that hotel room, the truth looked very different. Meghan wasn't preparing for a humanitarian event. She was staging a coronation. Every detail had to scream Hollywood royalty. The gown was hand-picked to outshine everyone else. The team rehearsed every step, every pose, every camera angle. For Meghan, humility was just another aesthetic one she wore, only when it matched the dress code. Harry watched from across the room, arms folded, jaw locked. The same man who once said he wanted a simple life was now buried under brand strategy. When she asked if the lighting was flattering enough, he didn't answer. When she reminded him to smile naturally, he didn't look up. He had played the role for years, and he was tired behind closed doors. Their dynamic wasn't partnership, it was pressure. Meghan chasing applause that never came. Harry realising he had traded a crown for a script he didn't believe in. By the time their publicist walked in with the night's schedule, the air was already fractured. Meghan spoke in sound bites. Harry muttered under his breath. Their smiles had become masks, polished empty and cracking. Then she said the line that finally pushed him over the edge. Tonight, we remind them who we are. Harry snapped back low and bitter. No, Meghan, they already know who we are. That's the problem. In that moment, the fairy tale didn't just fade, it burned. When the jet denial sank in, it wasn't just a logistical setback, it was a mirror. And what stared back at them wasn't royalty, it was ego. Meghan's face didn't show shock, it showed disbelief, the kind only someone used to constant approval can feel. This wasn't about a jet. It was about realising her name no longer guaranteed a yes. Assistants froze, stylists looked away. The woman who once ruled red carpets now looked like she was standing on one being rolled back. Harry's anger burned differently, not theatrical, just quiet, simmering and lethal. Every flashbulb, every speech, every carefully staged headline that once felt like purpose now felt like parody. He had fled one palace only to build another one, made of Meghan's ambition and his own guilt. For years, they preached compassion while flying private, demanded privacy while selling confessionals, claimed freedom while chained to relevance. The jet denial wasn't just a refusal, it was poetic justice. Outside their bubble, the organisers saw what they couldn't: a couple who had turned philanthropy into performance and sincerity into strategy. They weren't denied because of safety. They were denied because they had become the contradiction the event wanted to avoid. Inside that hotel room, silence did what tabloids never could. It exposed them. Two ex-royals, no red carpet, no cameras, no curated sympathy, just a myth collapsing under its own weight. And while Meghan tried to rebuild the fantasy with another phone call, Another demand. Harry finally understood what the world already knew: they weren't victims anymore, they were the spectacle. And this time, no palace and no PR team could save them. The jet denial wasn't a scheduling issue, it was a statement for years Meghan and Harry lived inside their own narrative. Misunderstood royals, self-exiled saviours, too authentic for the system they abandoned. But that story depended on one thing: people still believing they were different when the humanitarian awards refused their request. That illusion shattered inside the organising committee. The choice was simple. How could an event built on humility justify lending a jet to a couple who turned every cause into a photo op? One insider called it ethical housekeeping. They wanted sincerity, not a brand activation. The decision rippled through Manhattan's PR circles, and something remarkable happened. No one rushed to defend them, no sympathetic editorials, no loyal friends stepping in. The silence was deafening. The humanitarian world had drawn a line: service without sincerity is theatre, compassion without credibility is noise. And Harry and Meghan had become both. This wasn't exile, it was irrelevance, a fate colder than any royal fallout. So was the jet denial fair, or just another public humiliation? What do you think when the lights fade and the cameras turn away? Most celebrities return to themselves, but Meghan and Harry don't remember who that is anymore. Every scandal, every headline, every public appearance has been stitched into a narrative so carefully managed that they've started believing it themselves. Meghan now plays the misunderstood icon. Harry plays the rebel prince turned professional victim. Together, they built a palace of mirrors, one reflection for every audience they tried to please. But here's the irony: the more they curate, the less real they appear. The compassion feels staged, the sincerity feels rehearsed, the vulnerability sells better than the truth. The jet denial wasn't punishment, it was reflection for Meghan. The nightmare isn't rejection, it's obscurity. For Harry, it's realising the war he thought he was fighting against the monarchy was really against himself, preaching simplicity while chasing spectacle, claiming humility while demanding privilege, fighting for truth while scripting every frame. That's the real tragedy. The crown didn't destroy them, the mirror did, because when you perform authenticity long enough, you forget how to actually be it. When the night finally came, New York didn't care. The awards began on time. The red carpet rolled, cameras flashed, and the Sussexes were nowhere to be seen. No jets sweeping the skyline, no grand entrance, just a black SUV pulling quietly to the curb inside the venue. Organisers smiled politely, photographers looked past them. The crowd barely stirred. For the first time in years, they walked into a room that didn't revolve around them. No lenses turned, no whispers followed their presence. Once commanding had become an afterthought. As speeches began, applause echoed for causes bigger than celebrity. Their names weren't mentioned. Their legacy wasn't invoked when they left. The city didn't notice. The denial of a private jet wasn't just logistics, it was symbolism. The end of entitlement, the quiet burial of the Sussex myth. Maybe they'll spin it as injustice. Maybe they'll call it envy or bad luck. But the truth is simpler. The world stopped clapping. You're watching Star Spotlight, where the truth hides between the headlines. And if you want to see how this pattern really began, check out our last investigation: Meghan's first husband, Joe Giuliano, and why his family rejected her, because every downfall starts with one illusion too many.